never shook hands with. And that's unacceptable. That's unacceptable in God's house. Why do we act like that? Why did I act like that? Because some of you don't act like that. Some of you guys will talk to everybody. And I want to sit in my little seat there right in the center and pay attention to everyone that's sitting around me, but do I get up and talk to anybody? I have had such good fellowship with these little kids right here, and that was kind of why I wore my necklace. I don't know if it's going to cause a problem with the mic, but these boys were just sitting in the back hall, and I came in, and they all like getting out of my way, and this is not how I was going to start, but God said use your heart, so I'm just going to do it. I went down to Inverness because a little while ago when he touched me, I got a burden for people. I got a burden for everything. I was telling my wife, colors are brighter. I don't understand it. But I need to go back and tell you where it started. I will let you know that that cross is for me. Me and God have talked a lot. I've cried more these last 2 weeks than probably my whole family combined. You can ask my family. You can ask my in-laws. I don't know what to do half the time. He's filled my head with so much stuff. I literally have to have my son use my phone for me half the time because I don't want to. So he wants me to crucify myself tonight, and I'm going to tell you my life story at some point. I mean, it's all going to be worked in. Because I haven't been a good person. But I know I was saved October 19th, 1995. That's when he came into my heart. He came into my heart then in a time where, just like all of us, we're always going through something. There's nobody in here that isn't crying or in pain over something. And we all just, hi, how you doing? Or we don't say nothing at all. We just snub each other. We want to take the devil's device because that's all this is. They even put the bit apple on the back. I'm sure you've probably seen that little meme online. It's not a joke. There is nothing about God in this thing. It's almost destroyed my son. It's destroying half of us in here. It is. Every single kid out there is being destroyed right now by this device. And that's why God wants this to go viral. I'm talking to God and I'm saying, God, you've never talked to me before because I thought I knew you, but I didn't. And now he's like, well, we've got some stuff to do. So it all started, I'm going to go ahead and go back to where it started. Rich and Reva. I've been to 3 funerals in my life. Well, not 3 funerals. I've had 3 people close to me die. My father, who I cried for, but not as much as I should have now that I understand life a little better. A lot better. Thank you. My uncle, Uncle Pete, I loved him. I didn't know him really well, but when I was a kid, he saw my fascination with learning and wanting to do stuff, and he was in World War II, and he did electronics. He had a ham radio set up. I mean, he had all kinds of equipment, and when he passed away, he just gave, he gave that all to me, and I didn't even realize what he was doing at the time. But the biggest death that hurt me was the one that came when I was the youngest. And that was my grandfather. I didn't know him very well, but he was in World War II too. I didn't know it at the time, but when my dad was dying, he gave me a bag of stuff. And I'm like, what is this? And it's like all this Nazi medals, nice armband with some blood on it that he took off of people when he was at war. And I'm like, I didn't even know he sacrificed like that. But what hurt me and why it was so hard, I was a kid. I didn't know any better. And I don't blame myself now. But all my life I did. Almost 57 years, I blamed myself for my grandfather's death and didn't even realize it. I mean, as a kid, I said, you know, you must have some real power, because that night before he died, I went to sleep and I had a big test at school. And I told God, I said, if there's any way I can get out of that test, the next day was a funeral. I didn't have to take that test. And we do this stuff just thinking, it's no big deal. But let's get back to Rich and Reva. I don't know who was here during their funeral, but And there's a back row back there, and I don't sit up there because I'm not in the choir, right? I just sit in my seat. So I'm sitting back here, this seat, I don't know. I wish I did. I'm not going to sit there now because half of you can't see me. I hope we laugh here too. This is not all sad. It's not all sad. But I got to get through the sad part because this is the crucifixion part. At that funeral, I sat back there and I said, I know he lived a hard life. We heard a lot about that. And I looked out at the crowd and I saw all the people. And all my life, I've given people how many chances to be my friend? 1, 2, break my trust. I let them go. Not 7 times 70 or 7 times 7,000, not anything that would please the Lord. I didn't even give people 3 strikes. I don't know why. Because he gave me gifts. The reason I can get up here and speak now is he gave me the gift of gab. I can run off the mouth all day long. Amen. If I know the subject, I always like being the SME, subject matter expert. My wife taught me that one. I didn't even know it. And I always like being the SME. I like to learn everything I can about a subject, and then I want to teach you. Some of my favorite times was when I worked at Circuit City, because I ran the car audio department and we did installation, and I got to train the kids how to install stereos. I'm the responsibility for why some of those huge speakers are in their cars and you'd smack in the back of your head in your car. I had 4 15-inch speakers in my car and 6 8-inch speakers, and cut out the whole back wall of a truck. Anyway, I sat back there and I said, God, this guy had a rough life. He was probably kind of mean, did some stuff. I mean, they admitted to it, so I'm not saying anything we don't already know. You can see a person, you can tell. I think we all walk around and we see that in people. We don't care about it. We don't see it as a burden. So I sat there and I said, God, I've been so bad, I'll never have a funeral this good. And I watched. I can picture him now. I don't even know who he is. There was a guy sitting on the front row right there, and I'm sitting right there. And it's like he's looking into me, and I can see he's about to cry. And that's one of the other gifts that God gave me, and that was seeing people, knowing people, I spent a lot of my life knowing that things shouldn't be around my kids. People shouldn't be around my kids. And we all go, it'll be okay. Don't let your kids go spend the night with anybody. Please. So God said, okay. You don't think you can have a funeral like that? Why don't you preach your own? So I said, okay. And he said, you're going to have to crucify yourself in front of the world. Because, have you seen the world? We're sitting in here enjoying our nice, calm, cool weather. Any minute someone could come in and shoot us all. We hear about hundreds of thousands of kids that have been raped, abused, murdered, and we all sit here. It's okay. Don't worry about those people up there. You hear the people yelling about it online. Oh, we got to get together. We got to rally together and do something. And then a month later, it's like, oh yeah, there's that thing that happened in Hollywood. So I don't know how far back God wants me to crucify myself. That's the problem. He doesn't give details. So my first job, Kroger, I stole from. You know why I stole from them? Not because I'm bad. We don't ever do anything because we're bad, because we want to be in the world. I was 17 years old, working part-time at Kroger's. And I'm a 17-year-old, first job. This is my first time in the world. Everything else has been school, mom and dad. School, mom and dad. Now I'm in the world, right? I'm alone. I have to make my decisions. Mom and dad's not there to help me. And one night I'm there working till midnight, and the cashier tells me, hey, could you take these 2 bags out to my car? And I'm looking out and going, dang, that's a lot of Christmas presents. So then the next night, she's like, hey, I need you to take this out to my car. And I'm like, what am I doing? She goes, oh, it's okay. We're allowed to do that. Hal on the stock crew, he knows about it. We're good. You don't have to pay for it. Really? I didn't know this. So I started out stealing ink pens. I didn't know what else to steal. I didn't want a pack of ham. I'm looking around, I'm like, well, what am I going to take? Well, you know what stealing does. Ooh, a pen here, CD there. Then pretty soon you're stealing money because you've been promoted to a front-end supervisor. And you don't think they count all their money? I got away with that for a pretty long time before they set me up. And they set up a sting and they got me. But you know what I didn't do? I didn't go in the office and lie about it. I admitted what I'd done. I told them why I started doing it. Went all the way back, because that was 2 years that I had that job. Told them from the beginning, this person, this person, this person. I came clean. I let all of it go. And they know there had to have been a lot of money missing. But you know what they did for me? I said, we're just going to let you go. I could have been without a job and a scar to my name, and I should have. I deserved it. But God. So I don't know how much He wants me to crucify myself. He does want me to tell you some of the happier stuff about me. Happier stuff that, unfortunately, still is a negative, right? Because this has been one of my gods. We all have our hobbies, right? Where's Daryl at today, boy? If we had him in here, he always says, how many hobbies do you have? I collect knives, I collect fossils, I make marbles, I sell marbles, kayaking, motorcycles, broken toe, wrong foot. I meant in the beginning to tell you guys, because I want you to understand what it took me to get here right now and stand in front of you guys and even talk. My toe right now is broken. Oh, can we get my pictures up there? I'm sorry, I forgot all about that. Yeah, hey, I'm just flying by the seat of my pants. I do have to go ahead and show you this, though. Here's my sermon. Random notes everywhere. God talks very fast. I've never been up here before, and I forgot to say, there is a point to this outfit. I mean, you did the rapper thing. I'm not going to rap. But this is not it. I went out and bought a brand new voice recorder to try to capture some of the thoughts. When God starts talking to you, I texted Pastor and I said, when does he give you a break? Because he hasn't. It's been, I don't know how long. I feel like it's been 3 days, but I know this started well past that. I had 6 days of not even, I don't know how many days I fasted. I wasn't trying to fast. Biggest fight I've had with my wife since I found him was because I'm fasting. And that's where we get in trouble with God. Because we've struggled so bad. I haven't even got to that struggle, and that's the worst. And as much as she loves me, and as much as I love her, she's stubborn. She likes to fight. She not fight. I mean, she's not going to trip you or anything, I don't think. She'll probably trip, but I don't even know where I was going with that. Sorry. If I get lost, please help. I'm serious. God has taken so much out of my mind to give me this information, and you don't understand what pressure he's put on me with it.
You were going with the broken road and you went to the pictures.
Thank you. Thanks, Gene. The problem with the pictures is this was my God. I loved it for wildlife. I loved it for landscape. But I don't want to take a picture of you. You know why? You're going to gripe. You're going to complain. It's not going to be good enough. So I always just said no. I did 2 weddings in my life. Both of them turned out great. I don't like people. That's what I always said. I don't like people. How Christian is that? Well, here's just about everybody else's crutch. When I went through what I did, and I'll tell more about that in a second, that was the first thing I got rid of on my phone. You see how much I love these headphones? They are nasty and disgusting, and they're still my favorite. I got a new set at home. Wasted a lot of money that could have went to my church, that could have went to a missionary, that could have went to help my neighbor, that could have went to help one of you. And we all just buy all our stuff and we just sit in the world, right? Well, here's some crucifixion stuff. Let's just open it and not even look and grab a CD and see what I listen to. Let's grab a couple. You want to grab some? Here, grab a couple CDs. Joe Satriani, that's not too bad. It's just guitar. I mean, but does it make me think of God? Because you know what? After he touched me, every song on my phone has no meaning unless I'm either thinking of God or thinking about how much I love my wife. And you go adding all that stuff to your life that the world wants you to have, and what's the first thing you lose? Fellowship with your wife, fellowship with your church, because we all want stuff. Richard Marx, that's not bad. Run DMC, 9 Inch Nails. Come on, let's find some bad ones. I don't have glasses on. Van Halen. You know, let me just tell you who I listen to. Eazy-E, Eminem. I mean, heck, I got big 15-inch subwoofers in my car. You're going to hear something nasty and loud. Isn't that what you hear now? And I'm right there along with it, thinking I'm doing great, right? I'm living life, right? But Jesus will show you. Do you see why this was so hard for me to get up here? I've never preached before. And right now, all I can do is look at all of you guys, and what he has put in me at this point is so strong, I lay at home and cry. I cry if I kill a bug. Because that's another one of my sins. I like to kill animals, apparently. Didn't even really think about it till I put it all together. I didn't bring that to try to impress anybody, but I'm a glass artist. That's what I've done for the lifetime. I don't see anything bad with that. I've enjoyed it. Here's the problem. There was no God in it. You know how long I've made marbles? Since 2007. And that's primarily been my job. And it's never really gone anywhere. Didn't. Probably because God wasn't in it. Maybe I should have been making some marbles with some crosses in it. Maybe I should have been changing my stuff up. Either way, I'm not worried about that one. Then we have the most recent. I mean, I'm just showing you my life. They're not all bad. And then we've got what I've started doing now, which is diving for fossils in the river. Again, hey, new hobby. Let's make more money. Let's find some fossils. This is a mammoth tooth, a small one. Mastodon tooth. $350, $400 roughly. Just laying in the river, all you gotta do is go get them. Oh, I'm alone doing that. I don't take people with me. I don't want people to know that even though we're in Florida, most people don't realize it, but the Withlacoochee River is filled with fossils. Most people don't think it is, because if you read the books, they say it's not. You have to go that way on the Withlacoochee. I got them right outside my back door. And as a matter of fact, that one came right across from my dock. You know, but what have I done here? I got time for that. And sure, I come up here and cut grass, right? What's that? Who does that help? Make someone feel a little bit better when they're parking their car and they don't have the grass on their legs? It was a front. It was just me playing church. So let me go ahead and stop telling you about me now. I think I've crucified myself enough. You all see why I don't belong up here, right? And I told you that God gave me gifts and I see things. I walked around here and watched the faces as I walked around and saw the people that was like, what are you doing preaching? Why you? What are you wearing? God doesn't care what we wear. God doesn't care where we've been. The world cares where you've been because they want you with them. And even though you're in here, you're still with them. We all are. We can't get away from them. Wherever that stupid device is. So I sat through that funeral. I don't know how many days passed, but my friend, Brother Daniel, was going to preach. I didn't know he was preaching. But when it came time to go to that service, I said to the wife and kids, I was like, the pastor's out of town. Let's call Brother Darrell and see if he's preaching, and if he's not, we won't come. Something told me, you better go. So I told my wife, I said, well, I'm going to go. If you guys want to go, go. If you don't, you guys stay home. I'll go. And we all came. And brother, I was so awful to you. I sat there and I tore apart your message. Why does he keep saying, here I am here, here I... Give it a rest, dude. Why is he pronouncing these big words wrong? Why have I messed up the order of all the stuff I'm doing? I'm sorry, brother. I'm supposed to be your friend, and you at least have the guts to get up and talk about Jesus.
Amen.
And I'm scared to death because I don't know enough about Jesus. And now I'm doing a job for him. And that hurts. And I'm sorry. I hope you can forgive me. So, I go home. And I'm broken. I'm going to get back to you, Daniel. I spent the last almost 2 years in this church, playing church, asking Jesus to kill me almost every day. Maybe he's going to. I don't care if he does. I'm going to be better off than all y'all if he does, because I know where I'm going. He made it crystal clear to me. He made it so clear that I feel like he shouldn't have. Because he told me, do this for me, and you can rest. And I'll tell you, I want to rest. But what does that mean? Does that mean I say the last word and the world sees that? Because he told me this is big. And I'm like, I'm not big. But I'm not up here talking to you. He is. And I've sat there and kept telling him, I can't do this. I have 5 kids. So before you start looking at my 3 kids that are in here, just know it's none of your business. But because I didn't heed the warnings of my God that gave me that insight, I watched one of my kids being hurt by a family member. I watched another one. It's the world, people. We got to wake up. I am here giving you this message because he said, It's time to wake up. Now, Daniel, brother, I don't know what you did to me, man. And it scares me to even say it because I already feel it coming. I feel the doubt. I feel the disbelief. Not in everybody. I got you. But it's all over. It's all over. The world, whoever's watching out there, they know. I stood there in my bedroom. I don't know where the family was. And I walked over. You don't need to know where I walked. It's a waste of time. I stood there looking out back. And I just started crying. And I said, I don't understand what's going on. I don't even remember all the words. All I remember is I raised my arms and said, here am I. I will do anything you want me to do. And don't say that unless you mean it. Don't say it unless you mean it. And I meant it. I'm tired. This world hurts. We all know that. But we all sit there and bicker and fight with our spouse and our kids over things that don't matter. Because we get stressed out. You know what he's given me? I now drive, I'd like to say like a grandma, but that grandma, she'll get on it. She'll push you off the road if she has to. She's going to go somewhere and she's going to get there on time. I don't care if I get there on time anymore. I don't. On the way from, I was supposed to come up to talk to Pastor, and on the way, there's a car driving 40 miles an hour and a 55 down 200. We see it all the time. And unfortunately now we're seeing people passing on double yellows where they're about to get themselves killed every single day in turn lanes, in regular roads. Nobody cares anymore. I'm scared to go out most of the time, but I'm on my way, 40 miles an hour. I want to do 55. That'd be great, wouldn't it? I got to talk to that man. But not this time. I just sat there. You know why? To listen to God's music. I was thinking about God. Now, granted, he gave me something that all you guys don't have. But you don't need to have it, and you don't want it. Because what he's given me is the fact that doesn't go away. Everything I see, my water bottle, which I've got to use right now, and I told Henry about this earlier. Was it you that I told? No, I didn't. I told somebody about it. I'll think about it sooner or later, or they'll speak up if they're in here. George of the jungle? There he is. I told him that my wife gave me this water bottle just yesterday. And I looked, she said, here, why don't you try this water? I've had a hard time with water bottles. God has put me on a quest. See the fat me? See the skinny me? The fat me was about the same time that all our troubles during what I just told you started. That is me a couple of days ago. 265, not that day, but right now 148. 148 after all the fasting he made me do, because I would throw up if I even thought about eating. I couldn't. I burp a lot now every time I eat. And my loving wife, she thought I was trying to kill myself. She thought, oh, you're just not eating because you're trying to die. How many times I had to say, God has control of this. I mean, I told her, I will eat when I'm ready to eat, when I feel like I can eat. I told her, Take me to the emergency room. Have me tested. I can't eat. But all the doubt, all the disbelief, and in my head, it's settled. It is settled. I don't have any worries anymore. So why disbelieve? Why think that God can't provide those pictures? And I love you, honey. I'm not trying to. Why spend $35 on this because you think God can't get my picture up on the screen? My God's bigger than that. But thank you, because I know how much you love me. And why are my in-laws laughing during my presentation?
Because I already told them the story.
Sorry, I just threw you a $35 print. I'm sure we're going to frame this soon. Or burn it. Good night, I was fat in that one. That's worse than the other one. Look at that face. Do I got a fish in my mouth? Oh my gosh. Anyway. So I'm standing there, right? Is that where we're at? I'm standing there. I'm not lying, and I got something to say about this after it because I already know what your thoughts are going to go to. I'm standing there, and it goes pitch black. I immediately close my eyes, and I am bathed in light. And not only that, I'm holding my phone, this lovely thing. I'm holding my phone, and I'm shrieking like, it's called trembling in the Bible, if you read your Bibles. And it didn't hurt. It felt so warm. And he gave me a name, Yeshua. And I had never heard it. 23, 24 years in church, and I've never heard the name. I didn't know it was a Hebrew name and something else that I can't remember at the. And I'm like, okay. I don't know what that is, but afterwards, not during. You don't do that during. And he showed me 3 images. That's all he showed me was 3 images. And I immediately knew my mistake. How does that happen? How does that happen? And I'll go ahead and give you 2 of them, not because I can't give you the 3rd one, but just because, okay, God, I'm not going to say it's lame, but the other 2 make a whole lot more of an impact for you where the other one doesn't. The first one is, I love you, Mom, if you're watching, so don't take offense to this. My mom is the smartest person I know. Obviously, she's not going to take offense to that. She probably loves that. She's Mensa certified. I don't know if you know what Mensa is, but it's whatever the acronym is, but it's for smart people that have an IQ, not me. She's very smart. She's read the Bible multiple times. She's read the Quran. She's read the Torah. She's read every book by When I had to move her down here to my place, we got rid of over 5,000 books at least. And got rid of. Some of them went to the dump because libraries won't take them anymore. You know why? It's knowledge. Most of what she had was science, ancient history. Let me tell you something. You've been lied to. And it's out there. God pointed me to it. I'm not going to tell you about it. It's not for me to tell you about it. You got to want to know the truth. There is so much we have been lied about. You just can't imagine. So the first story that'll be quick is my mom always allowed me to shoot 2 kinds of birds. Because my mom was an ornithologist. She worked for the Cincinnati Nature Center, and she taught classes, and they know everything, right, about wildlife. So my mom told me, hey, house sparrows and starlings are invasive. They're from Europe, and they don't belong here. We were responsible for that. We decided to bring them over, and now they're killing our native birds. We're losing habitat. They kick other baby birds, the starling kicks other baby birds out of their nest. Those birds don't get to live, and they put their own eggs in there and let the other bird raise those young. That's the story. I don't know if it's true, but that's a story. I've heard it. It is true. But I immediately knew it didn't matter. Those are God's creatures. Was I eating them? I was killing them because that's what I'm told is okay. Should I have known that at that age? No. But I know now. That's why I'm not going to kill a snake. Why I'm not going to kill a bug. Why God, on the first 3 nights after Daniel and Toe, that's the easiest way to remember it. I don't remember what I was saying. I'm sorry. I just knew it was wrong. I figured it out. I'm like, I get it. And then comes the last image, which still haunts me. My mom sitting outside in her RV, who her gracious son allowed to come live on his property. And basically charges her $500 a month rent for being there and for the electricity she uses, all the running I do for her, all that. I got an empty room in my house. And my mom's in an RV. Why is my mom in an RV? She's got 2 dogs. We have 2 dogs. Still sounds doable to me, right? My mom smokes. Ooh, Jesus doesn't even like that one. My mom drinks. My mom ought to be in my house. My mom didn't ever kick me out. Well, I did live in the garage for a while, but I made that room, so that's a little different. God will show you things that should wake you up. But you don't want this. You don't need this. No one needs this. Because at the end of the day, now I have to go, what do I do going forward? My wife kind of thinks I'm a nutcase because here's a new one. I wake up in the middle of the night. Ooh, sorry. I wake up in the middle of the night and it's 3 o'clock in the morning and there's LED lights on that I can see, and I start hanging blankets up over walls and putting socks over top of lights. It's got to be dark. Because we've been lied to. You've been lied to about sleep. Your sleep patterns are wrong. We always had 2 sleeps, a first sleep and a second sleep. Everything about our lives is not what we thought. And that's why God asked me to come up here and talk. I really thought there'd be more laughing and having fun. But God told me this was going to be hard. He told me if I would do this for Him, He was going to give me a crown. Amen. I don't know when. I hope it's not today. Because He's given me something now that I don't know. Some of you have seen. I want to share it. I can't tell you how much I have grown since that. I do got to go back and say that my wife is responsible for starting the transition even before Daniel. And I'm sorry I almost left that out, because that means the world to me. pastor knows, and a lot of you people know, that we've had marriage counseling classes here before. And me and my wife decided to do that marriage counseling class because I'm like, ooh, man, anything that'll help the marriage, right? We all want that, don't we? And that's good. There was nothing wrong with that. But here's the problem. I'm more of a literalist. If I learn something, I don't know if that's the right word for it or something, but if I learn something, I put it into practice if it's good. If I learn something and I don't like it, go away. Just like we should be doing evil. But we don't. At the end of the day, we don't. So, we do the marriage class, everything's going good. We get through it, no big deal. No problems, was no arguments, no nothing. But then you have after, where you sit in a marriage class that tries to teach you God's grace. Amen. I mean, that's one of the things they teach you about, is His grace. But when you learn that, you start expecting others to give it back. And they don't. And when it's your own family, that hurts, right? There's a reason they don't. There's a reason they don't give you grace. It's because we're still in ourselves. I spent almost a month and a half trying to adjust. How do I get grace? I went from, my gosh, that right there, you can't do that, you know. I was the awful person, and then I was trying to like slide it in, kind of. You know how to get grace? Give it, but don't expect anything back. Amen. That's the part that everybody misses. They give it, but then when they get that negative back, forget it. It's over. Then you're yelling at your wife. You're yelling at your husband. You're yelling at your teenage son over nothing. Over 5 cents worth of ink. Why? You can choose to never be nasty. You can choose to just drive 40 in a 55. But the world has taught us we got somewhere to go, someplace to be, right? You don't have anywhere to go. You don't have anywhere to be. You should be loving everybody. You should be nice to everybody. You should just be trying. What God's given me, I don't want to work anymore. I've got an eBay store that I just put on vacation because I don't want to touch the device that I use to sell on. That's how hard this hurts. That's how hard what He put in me. I asked Him, He didn't tell me, but I'm guessing this is maybe 10% of His grace, because I know this, as soon as I slip away just a little bit, He's gone. He's gone. You step a little bit in the world, and He's going to leave you. You kids, don't. Stay happy. Stay joyful. Always, always think about the other person. Don't think about yourself first. Think about everybody else. That's the only way we're going to fix this world. This world's not my home. I'm ready to go. I'm joyous if it happens right now, and I'll tell him to his face. We've talked about it. I don't want to, because now what I know, I'm hoping he's going to give me another 57 years now to put into practice what he gave me. Because I like walking around Inverness and trying to find people that'll talk to me about my shark's tooth. Because I'm proud that I found this in a river. I wasted $600 worth of my money that I could have gave to the church for a necklace and a mount for it. That's how much I took pride in this tooth that I found. People, we got our priorities wrong. Amen. Our priorities are wrong. Our morals are wrong. And we all just keep going by like nothing's wrong. I'm sorry I got to keep drinking this water, but my mouth is dry. Can I have a piece of that gum? You can bring it all the way up here for me. I'm going to make you do that. Because I can. Oh, man, I wanted to say everybody rise. That would have been cool. Anyway. So I go through that, and I'm standing there, and I know what you think. Thank you, love. Oh, no, not that one, the other one. I'm just kidding. Did you see that, love? Did you see it? Oh, man. I think I'm in trouble when I get home now. I got to go back to the toe because you guys got to be wondering what's going on with my toe. So I go through all that. Thank you. If you hadn't preached that, I wouldn't be standing up here preaching tonight. If you hadn't, oh my gosh. Why didn't anybody tell me I didn't finish talking about my wife? I'm sorry. What happened is I was really hard on my family. I spent a long time hurting them, trying to find grace, trying to find my grace, when all I had to do was stop trying to find grace in everybody else and give grace to everybody. Once I did that, and I mean, 2-3 weeks maybe not even that. And my wife wound up having a conversation with my son. Because my son struggles, like every one of these boys down here probably. Not to mention just life in general. Look at what they're trying to be raised through. And come on, people, realize, I know everybody can be better at this, but I'm talking to the world about this. This is everybody. This isn't just us. It isn't this church. It's not about a denomination. It's not about anything. It's about God alone. My wife said to me, hey, I had a conversation with Eli, and I told him, your father is walking with God, and if he says you're out of the house, you're out. I sure turned into the Grinch that day, because I have been married to that woman for, it's over 20, it's in my eyes, it's over 24 years, because she figured out the date from when we first met. And if you look at the date you first met, I know in my situation, we fell in love that first day. She went to the wrong restaurant. And I'm standing there thinking she stood me up. And she's thinking I stood her up as she's standing in the wrong restaurant. If that hadn't happened, she probably would have been not as, but she came in so soft. And she was so beautiful. And none of our parents believed it. None of them. They were like, this isn't going to last. And I'll be honest, I was an awful person for 23 years. I mean, I wouldn't say I was awful, but there was a lot that was wrong. And now here we are 23 almost years later, and I'm finally able to treat her like the queen she should be. Amen. But it will never not be hard. It's always going to be hard. Thank you. I don't even know why I keep coming back to this. I haven't used it, have I? That very next day, I decided to go to Ocala for something. I couldn't, more studying. I found a guy online selling some old books I wanted, and I was going to meet him in Ocala to go pick them up because, man, I was on a quest for knowledge. It had just rained, little light mist on the ground. No big deal. I've been on my KLR before in pouring rain. Not had a problem. I'm just driving down the road, and then all of a sudden this lady in front of me starts braking. I hit my brakes, and that bike says, nah, ain't gonna happen. Bike starts to go down. I let off the brakes, correct it, just touch the brakes, right under the SUV. Luckily, I was able to pull it off to the side. All I did was hit her fender, but it was still cost us $750 that I had to pay cash to that lady because I don't want an insurance claim over that. My bike, minor damage, no big deal. So I hop up from the accident, bike lane in the middle of the street. She's already pulled to the curb. I leave my bike, I leave my knife, I leave my shoe, stuff scattered all over. I'm not even thinking about traffic. All I'm thinking is, I need to go to this lady. I've hit her fender. But all I can think is, I have affected this lady's life. So I go over and I say, are you okay? And she's like, why are you worried about me? And I said, because you had somewhere you were going and now you're not. That's not me. And I'm hobbling, right? I'm just like, there's a lot of adrenaline going. If you've been in a wreck before or something, And I'm hobbling. I'm like, she's like, are you all right? Are you all right? No one's stopping on the road. They're all just doing their daily business. My stuff's laying all in the road. I'm not paying attention because I'm worried about her. So I go over and she's like, ah. And I'm like, okay. So I walk back and I'm like, okay, so let me put my shoe back on. Pop my shoe back on. I'm like, oh, my knife. Yeah, better grab that. And then I'm like, trying to lift my bike. I'm like, oh yeah, that's wrong. Here, let me go from the back. And I walk it across the curb and across the other 3 lanes of traffic of 200 to get it into the CVS parking lot after we've exchanged information and stuff. And then I sit down on the ground and I cry because it hurts, right? I've never had a broken bone before. I don't know how much a broken bone is supposed to hurt. But it hurts. I'm crying. It hurts, but it's not that bad. I've had my appendix removed and it burst, and I almost died. So I know pain. I mean, that was dumb on my part, but that's all right. Anyway, so I get the bike over there. Everything's good, and I'm like, so I go to the doctor, and I'm like, here's my toe, and it hurt for the first 2 days. And she X-rays it, and she says, well, it's not only broke, it's crushed. Do you see my toes wiggling? I don't feel a thing. I can see the bone sticking up when I bend it down. The world gave me medicine to take for it. I took some natural stuff for it, some remedies, some of these, there's a lot of good remedy books that you need to get instead of taking the world's stuff, the stuff that's poisoning you. I can't explain that. As far as I know, what I've learned right now is I'm going to lose that toe. I don't care. I don't need that toe. It doesn't even hurt. What do I need it for? Only God can do that. I half expected it during the middle of my presentation. It was going to start hurting. That's how good He's been to me. People, I know this sounds like, if you want to get in the world, 1996 phenomenon. John Travolta. Anybody seen it? Anybody? We got one back here. Most people haven't seen it. You seen it? I watched it again last night. I honestly, if you look at that movie, They tell you a lot of truths about that light if you see it, if you've had that experience. But all that hocus pocus about, oh, you're going to invent all kinds of things, and I can't tell you the future, I can't predict earthquakes, I'm not going to break a mirror. I mean, no, that's the world, people. But there were so many truths in there about how we should treat other people. Watch the movie again. That's what life's about. That's what God's trying to teach us. It has nothing to do with going to heaven. It has to do with living a life now that's worth living. Is this worth living? Really? All I want to do is meet new people, tell them about what I've learned, and try to help anyone I can. Amen. I want to walk around Inverness and talk with people. I don't want to work. I don't want to go on motorcycles. Now, it's going to change. I know this. It's going to change. You're going to lose some of that. But I already know. I already know I don't want to lose it. What He's given me is so beautiful. But the disgust, it hurts. I go anywhere. We went out to dinner, and I'm sitting there, and it starts off great. 2 old women come in. We're sitting there as a family, and she can see the smile on my face, and she just starts talking to me. Oh, is that your family? Are you with your family? And I'm like, yeah, I am. This is my family. And she goes, oh, you don't see that anymore much. That's so nice. And I was like, thank you. And 57 years later, is that what any of us want? I'm sorry I had to preach what God wanted me to. It hurts. God's hurting right now. And this is what God told me to preach. Pastor told me early on, go easy, or something. I can't remember again. There's just too much. God doesn't want to go easy. God's told me, and I don't care what the world thinks. I don't care what Apple thinks. God's told me it's about time. God wants this to go viral. I don't, because He chose the wrong person. But I accepted. And I said I'd do it. I don't know what all He wants me to tell, but I'm going to tell you what He told me. Because I know who He is now. And He said, you better start figuring out what side you're on. Because it's close. And we all see it. We could go out any day for anything. Earthquakes, floods. He could do anything He wants. He can come right now and it could be over. We could hear the trumpet. And all He wants us to do is love each other. I mean that's what it comes down to, right? What else do we need to do besides love each other? And all the other stuff can fix itself. Yep. And I'm not preaching that to you guys, because I'm not preaching. I'm not a preacher. I will probably never stand behind the pulpit again, unless maybe I need to refine this. Maybe you guys are the guinea pigs and I will preach this again. I don't know. All I know is what he impressed upon me is it's urgent. Because I texted that man at 2:11 in the morning saying that I think God needs me to preach tomorrow. That's how urgent I thought it was. But do you know what that was? Our God's good. Do you know what that was? It was God saying, will you really? Are you willing to text your pastor at 2:11 in the morning to tell him that? And I'm like, yeah. And you know what he said? Well done. That's all it was for. I wasn't supposed to preach. I didn't need to preach. I needed to study. I needed to learn. He had a lot to work on still. Oh, is that actually the time? I need to finish. I think I have, honestly. Get deeper, people. There's not one church in this country that isn't one tithe away from going under. And I don't like bringing up money like he doesn't. But you know what? We have to take care of him. We have to take care of this. Not so we can sit in here and be all nice and cozy, have our same seat. Why don't you pick a new seat each time you come in? Meet a new person. Instead of getting on your phone, give them a call. Hey, you weren't there. How are you feeling? Can I pray for you? This is a good one, and I'm going to give it to you. Not everybody's been thrilled when I've told them, but witnessing. Oh, let's all get together. It's Saturday. Let's all go door to door. Do you know if you died today, would you go to heaven? What church you go? Why don't you come on over to Victory Baptist? We got a great church for you. God doesn't want any of that. God doesn't want us getting together in a group and going witnessing. Not like that. You want to go witnessing? Go door to door. Knock on their door. Say, hi, my name's Joe, and I just want to know if there's anything I can pray for you about. And some people, most people, because they're just like you, are hurting, and they've got something they'd like you to pray about. And if they're really hurting, they're not even going to question it. They're going to say, yeah, I've got something. And they're going to give it to you. And then you say, what's your first name? And you write it down, and you write down what you're praying for. And you say, I'm going to pray for you, and you walk away. But that's only half of it. Then you go back next week. It takes time. And you go back and you ask them, well, how are you doing? I've been praying for you. And you might be pleasantly surprised that God took care of it for them. A lot of times, that's what happens. But not always. Not always. But what do you think would happen if you walked up and they said, you wouldn't believe it? I was taken care of. Now, we don't know if God did that, but we can say to him, amen. Do you have anything else I can pray for you about? And put it on our list and walk away. But I bet by the time the first one's done, they're going to start saying, where are you from? Who are you? I already see it when I just talk at people and I look at them and I see the smile on their face that I never saw before. We just got to talk to people. We got to be sweet. We got to forget about, I've got to be somewhere now and I didn't prepare, so I'm going to take it out on the world. The world's already taken out enough on us. And we're the ones that's supposed to be helping them. And that's all I want to do the rest of my life. I want to help people. I don't want to dive in the river for something I can make more money for. I was talking to my father-in-law over there. He gave me a boat a while ago. I never did anything with the title, didn't do anything with the boat other than strip it down because, like everybody else, we're so far in debt, we can't even rub two pennies together. We can't make our full tithe every month. because the government, because of everything that's happening in this economy. But we did it to ourselves. You got to have that new car. You got to have that new boat. Oh my gosh, there's a new iPhone out. Let's run out and get in line for it. Really? Really? You won't get in line to come into God's house. If there's a line, you won't even get in a line to go in a restaurant. That's too busy. Let's go somewhere else. It could be your favorite restaurant. It wouldn't matter. We don't want to wait. We want, what do they want? They want what we want when we want it. We want it now. God's not about now. God's about beauty and love and grace and understanding. And I hope some of you people don't think I'm talking to you specifically when I look at you, because I just see friendly faces and I look. So I'm not saying this to anyone. I'm not telling you, if I stepped on your toes, it ain't me. It ain't me. But my God told me, if I preach this message, I could rest. And whatever that rest is, I need to rest. Because he flat wore me out over the last 2 weeks. I mean, we had a car accident in our new car that we bought. I had the tow. It lines up all day long. And then I'm gonna end this with this. And I'm sorry that I went 30 minutes over. These pants, it's gone, but see the fat me? Bell's was selling these pants back almost 2 years ago on a clearance rack for $55. That's way too much for a pair of pants, especially on clearance. The original price tag was $140. That's a joke. Who's paying? Well, the world. The world will pay $500 for this if you put the right look to it, and guess what? We'll buy it. But you know why I wanted these pants? One, I didn't have a pair of pants this color. I was like, man, that's neat. I like that color. I still like it. But you guys can't read it, but these are Joe's pants. And I'm like, I want Joe's pants. Dude, look, I got my own pants. It's silly. It's silly, right? But I'm like, I want my own pants. They're soft. I am a big texture guy. They're soft. Ooh, they're soft. So I'm that big. These are a 33. I wasn't a 33. But I'm a 33 right there. So what happened 2 years ago when I started losing weight? And then I got down to a 33. You really think a year and a half later Joe's pants are still going to be on the rack? It's a clearance rack. What company keeps a pair of clearance pants for a year and a half, almost 2 years, and it's still on the rack? Because I've never seen it, because I've worked retail. You rotate that stuff in, if it doesn't sell, by a certain point it's gone. Well, I came back in, and this pair of pants was still there. And I was like, oh man, it's still there. I'm excited. But I know it's still $55. $23.74. My God did all that work and saved my pants. And now I realize that I never said while I'm dressed like this. And it's because this is what I wore when I was standing there and I found him. He found me. We found each other. And he's not going to leave me. He'll never leave me again. If I live a day, if I live, for some reason, when I was standing there, he gave me the number 30. And I'm like, I don't know what this is. Am I going to live 30 minutes, 30 hours, 30 days, 30 years? You know what? I don't know. What's 30? Am I losing 30 more pounds before I don't know what it is. All I know is for the rest of my life, I'm going to serve him. But more importantly, I'm going to love people. I'm going to love this world. I don't want to go killing cats anymore. I hated cats. They come around my yard and spray at my dogs. That nasty urine. So, what did I always do as a kid? Kill them. I have so much more to say, but I'm not going to. Just love one another. If you don't do it anywhere else, do it here. Amen. Why do we get so aggravated at people? She's taking a nice nap back here in the back. It's okay. Just love each other. Okay? Think about something that I said that resonates with you and decide to make a change. This world isn't going to change. They may all hear this. Maybe it will go viral because I know my God is big enough that this will go viral if I did a good job. But he didn't tell me what kind of job to do. He just said, do it. Oh man, that was awful. Just do it. Isn't that Nike? I love every one of y'all. I love every one of y'all on a new level. Some of you guys I still haven't shook hands with. Some of you guys I haven't hugged your neck. And I am truly sorry because it does hurt me deeply. And let's just love each other. Pastor?